Good morning, trading world. It is February 8th, 2022, 7:48 a.m., and this is my pre-market outlook and technical analysis for day trading the SPY. The title for today's outlook is Range-Bound Trade. Today we have possible range-bound trade with some big ranges. Looking across the board, I see financials coming in with a bid and tech coming in down. If this continues, tech could limit how far down tech drags the market today, if they continue to bid throughout the day. At some point in time, I would not be surprised to see a springboard diver formation. And that's a powerful up day just before a steep drop off. I'm not saying that will happen today, tomorrow. I'm saying over the next 2 to 3 weeks. That's something that I will be looking for. With that being said, Peloton doesn't surprise me right now. I'm sure Facebook is going to continue its descent because I'm pretty sure most fund managers don't want to show that in their statements at the end of the quarter. So it'll continue to consolidate and move down. With that being said, there's not much that could bring us up, as far as news or a surprise that could really power the market up. But there are a lot of things that are lurking that could knock us further down, especially with Russia and their BS on looking to invade. That could be a detriment to the market as far as news and having a sharp decline happen soon. So there are just so many things that could, news-wise, break us down, and I don't see very many things at all that could prop us up or stabilize us. With that being said, let's get to the key levels of the day. Alright, here we are with the key levels for today, starting on the resistance side. We have Jack resistance at 447 through 448, Queen resistance at 451 through 452, and King resistance at 453 through 460. On the support side, we have Jack support at 445 through 444, then Queen support at 443 through 441, and King support at 440 down to 435 area. The main thesis for today is bullish bias closing above 447.26 with a projected low of between 445 and 443 and a target high of 448 through 449. The alternate thesis is bearish closing below 447.26 with a projected low of between 440 and 435. The current minor channel we are in is between 453 and 443, with the major channel being 453 all the way down to 425. let's take a look at today's scenarios. Alright, the first scenario that I'm looking at for today is pretty much an expansive range day type structure. We could look to set a decision area low boundary around the jack support area before chopping higher, then possibly another try pushing boundaries lower before rallying again. With the range day, any range day scenario, especially with the volatility, there are so many different variations that could take shape on a range day. So you have to kind of keep your head on the swivel and watch out, because range days take all types of shapes. But one key factor in the range day, keep in mind, it's usually important to every day type and structure, is the previous close. And that previous close of 447.26, if this is a range day, we should see a break above that or a close above the previous close. That doesn't say we have to stay above it or stay below it, but that range usually takes us back and forth across that previous close. But also with the different variations, especially when it's expansive, meaning we push boundaries. Because in the normal range day scenario, we set boundaries and we chop in between those boundaries. But with it being expansive, we tend to push the boundaries, whether that's to the lower side or up. But I'm looking for a test and break of the previous close to really clarify this as a range day. So again, that's the most prevalent scenario. Let me bring up scenario number 2. Scenario number 2 would be our rounded reversal day type structure. In this volatility, I've seen it take different shapes, and usually when we have the rounded reversal, especially to the upside, we usually look for a gap up. But we've also seen this more and more in this high volatility, where we start off lower and build that energy up and take off at the closing from below the previous close and continue to gain steam and hit our targets or midday resistance area from a long way below. Excuse me. And with this type of rounded reversal, as with any rounded reversal day type structure, we are looking for divergence. Divergence in volume, divergence in your indicators, divergence in the internals. So whenever we decide to take off to the upside, if that is the direction, we're looking for divergence in volume. So with that bull volume going into divergence away from price action, indicator diverging away from price action. So that's the rounded reversal day type structure. And the most important area on the rounded reversal is that midday chop area. If you can see that clear divergence there, giving us the clue on the second half of the day, we'll see that reversal with the same amount of energy or close to that same amount of energy coming back down. So that is the rounded reversal day type structure, which is scenario number 2. And let's bring up the last scenario. Here we have the last scenario, which would be our trend day down type. We open gap down and start off after the open with a small rally. We find resistance on or before that previous close of 447.26, then begin the downtrend for the morning. We find midday chop around either the possible queen or king support area, and then the second half of the day is our usual head fake to continue the trend of the morning, and then a slight rally into the close. So those are the scenarios for today. Not really looking at the days right now. Focus more on what's ahead. So it's very hard for me to take bullish positions when it's so much of the action happens overnight, and I don't want to be bullish at all overnight or holding bullish positions overnight. Right now I'm not comfortable doing that, so that's why I'm looking ahead and kind of sitting on my hands and waiting for opportunities to place more short positions. So that's a look into what I am doing and what I will be looking for today. In this day and time and climate, make sure to define and know your risk and be comfortable with it, and profit will follow. As always, wishing you a successful trading day. Have a great one.